Ever pondered how the world might look without open source technologies? Let's take a moment to appreciate the invisible yet crucial role of open source in our lives. Open source technologies are akin to the unseen gears that keep the clock of our digital world ticking smoothly. From the browser you're using to watch this video, to the operating system on your smartphone, open source is everywhere. It's an approach to creating software that promotes collaboration, transparency, and community-oriented development. But why is open source so important? Because it's a catalyst for innovation. It allows passionate minds around the globe to contribute their unique insights to create superior, more secure, and more efficient software. If we were to strip away open source, we'd be left with a world of limited possibilities. A world where only a select few control the digital domain. Imagine a world where innovation is restricted, and you'll see why open source is the lifeblood of our digital era. Open source technologies have transformed our world in ways we might not even realize. Their influence is vast and varied, reaching into virtually every industry. Let's take a closer look at this impact, starting with the server market. Here, open source has truly made its mark, with Linux, an open source operating system, reigning supreme. Linux in many ways is the poster child for open source success. It was developed in the early 90s by a Finnish student named Linus Torvalds, who decided to share his creation with the world. He released it under a license that allowed anyone to use, modify, and distribute the software as they saw fit. This decision sparked a revolution. Developers around the globe began to contribute, enhancing Linux and adapting it to various needs. Today, this humble student project has grown into a robust and versatile operating system, powering everything from personal computers to servers and even supercomputers. But what's truly remarkable is that Linux isn't just a niche player. It's a dominant force, powering a staggering majority of the world's servers. That's right, when you browse the internet, chances are you're interacting with a server running on Linux. Whether it's streaming your favorite show, checking your emails, or even doing online banking, Linux is there, silently running in the background. This is just one example of how open source has changed the game. It's not just about providing free software. It's about creating a collaborative environment where anyone, regardless of their background or resources, can contribute. It's about breaking down barriers, fostering innovation, and democratizing technology. The impact of open source extends beyond the server market. It's reshaping industries, from healthcare and education to finance and entertainment. It's empowering small businesses, aiding scientific research, and even helping to tackle global issues like climate change. Indeed, open source technologies like Linux have become the invisible backbone of the digital world. Open source is not just for techies, it's part of our everyday lives. Let's start with an example that's probably within arm's reach. Think about your smartphone. More precisely, think about the operating system that powers it. If your phone is an Android, then you're already using open source technology every day. Android is an open source operating system, which means its source code is freely available for anyone to study, modify, and distribute. This openness is exactly what allows a multitude of manufacturers from all over the world to create their own unique versions of Android for their devices. It's also what allows developers to create the vast array of apps that you can download from the Google Play Store. But Android is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a good chance that many of the apps on your phone are also built with open source software. This includes everything from your web browser and email client to your photo editing apps and games. Even the infrastructure that delivers your favorite streaming shows and music likely relies on open source technologies. And it's not just our digital lives that are influenced by open source. It's also powering innovation in areas like healthcare, transportation, and even space exploration. For instance, open source software is being used to analyze DNA sequences in the fight against diseases, to optimize public transportation routes in cities, and to operate rovers on Mars. The impact of open source extends beyond just software too. Open source principles are also being applied to hardware, resulting in things like open source 3D printers, drones, and even cars. This means that not only can you use these technologies, but you can also modify them, improve upon them, and share your improvements with the world. Open source is truly everywhere, touching every aspect of our lives, often in ways we don't even realize. It's a testament to the power of collaboration and the human spirit of innovation. So, every time you use your smartphone, remember, you're tapping into the power of open source. Businesses big and small are harnessing the power of open source. This statement is not merely a catchy phrase, it's an undeniable reality in today's tech-driven world. Open source is no longer a niche, it's the mainstream, and businesses are capitalizing on the benefits it offers. Imagine a world where the collective intelligence of millions of developers worldwide is at your disposal. That's the power of open source. It's about collaboration, innovation, and freedom. It's about building on the shoulders of giants rather than starting from scratch. Take, for example, the story of IBM and Red Hat. In the world of technology, IBM is a titan, a pioneer, yet even they recognized the value of open source. They saw an opportunity in Red Hat, an open source software company. IBM didn't just see a company, they saw a community, a philosophy of open collaboration, and a treasure trove of innovation. The result? A staggering $34 billion acquisition. But why would IBM invest such a colossal amount in an open source company? The answer lies in the value of open source. It accelerates innovation by allowing companies to use, modify, and distribute software freely. It enables businesses to adapt quickly, to pivot when necessary, and to stay on the cutting edge of technology. It's not just about cost savings, it's about agility, adaptability, and speed. Moreover, it's about trust. Open source software is transparent. Everyone can see the code, examine it, and improve it. This transparency builds trust, and in today's world, trust is a valuable commodity. In the end, open source is more than software. It's a movement, a philosophy, a way of doing business. It's about working together rather than working alone. It's about standing on the shoulders of giants and reaching new heights. For businesses, open source is not just a trend. It's a strategic advantage. It's a tool for innovation, a catalyst for growth, and a key to unlocking the future. It's a brave new world, and open source is leading the way. As we look to the future, the influence of open source is set to grow even more. It's an exciting time for those who thrive on innovation and collaboration, as open source is poised to be a game changer in the tech landscape of tomorrow. There's no denying that open source has already changed the way we approach technology, but its potential is far from tapped out. Imagine a world where the majority of software is open source. It's a world where collaboration, transparency, and shared innovation are the norm, not the exception. The potential of open source is not just in its ability to create better software, but in its capacity to foster a global community of innovators. We're talking about a world where technology is not just made for the people, but by the people. An ecosystem where anyone, from anywhere, can contribute to the development of a software that could potentially change the world. This is the power of open source. It's not just about code, it's about community. It's about breaking down walls and fostering a culture of shared knowledge and collaboration. As we move forward, we can expect to see more open source projects, more contributors, and more groundbreaking innovations. But there's more. Open source also has the potential to democratize technology. By making software freely available and open for modification, we're creating opportunities for individuals and organizations who may not have had access to such resources in the past. This can level the playing field, giving everyone a chance to participate in the digital revolution. We're standing on the brink of a future where open source is not just an alternative, but the standard. A future where technology is more collaborative, more innovative, and more accessible than ever before. And as we look ahead, we can't help but be excited, because if the past is any indication, the future of open source is bright. Open source is more than a methodology, it's a movement, and it's a movement that's only going to grow. In the future, open source technologies will continue to break barriers and foster innovation. So, what have we learned about open source technologies today? We've taken a journey, exploring the intriguing world of open source, its far-reaching impact, and its presence in our everyday lives. We've seen how these technologies aren't confined to the realm of tech enthusiasts, but rather, they're woven into the fabric of our daily existence. We've also discovered how open source is revolutionizing business practices. Businesses big and small are harnessing the power of open source to innovate, collaborate, and compete on a global stage. And the future? It's bright and filled with endless possibilities. The potential of open source technologies is vast, limited only by our imagination. We're all part of this dynamic ecosystem, contributing to its growth, shaping its trajectory, and reaping its benefits. As we step into the future, open source technologies will continue to shape our world, one line of code at a time.